Spark Joy by Marie Kondo. Picture this: a high school girl so fixated on tidying that she literally has a nervous breakdown. There she is, frozen in the middle of her room, completely paralyzed. Her frantic crusade to throw everything away has backfired spectacularly, leaving her utterly miserable. She'd been obsessing over what to get rid of, but then, in that moment of total crisis, a thought struck her like lightning. Look for what you want to keep. That wasn't just her personal breakthrough. It sparked a worldwide movement. This was Marie Kondo, and that simple mental flip, shifting from a mindset of lack and purging to one of gratitude and choosing joy, would eventually transform millions of lives. Her first book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, flew off shelves by the millions and turned her into a global sensation. But people wanted more. They craved the nitty-gritty details, the insider secrets, to truly mastering her approach. So she delivered Spark Joy, a beautifully illustrated masterclass that goes even deeper into her philosophy. This isn't just a follow-up. It's the complete encyclopedia for a joy-filled life. It answers every burning question, from how exactly do you fold a sweater with those weird asymmetrical sleeves, to what do you do with boring stuff you need but definitely don't love. What you're about to discover isn't just another tidying manual. It's an exploration of a profound life philosophy cleverly disguised as a cleaning method. By the time we're done, you'll understand the 6 fundamental rules that guarantee you'll never backslide into clutter again. Even better, you'll discover a powerful tool for self-discovery, a way to sharpen your intuition, and a roadmap to creating a home and a life that genuinely sparks joy. This is how you put your house and your past in order once and for all. Let's kick things off with a question that cuts right to the heart of everything. What's the real difference between tidying and cleaning? You might assume they're basically the same thing, but Marie Kondo draws a crucial distinction that changes the entire game. Cleaning, she explains, is your battle against nature. Dust and grime will always pile up. It's practically a law of physics. Cleaning is that routine war you wage against inevitable dirt. Tidying, though? That's you confronting yourself. Think about it for a second. Stuff doesn't magically multiply on its own. Clutter accumulates because we buy things, we accept gifts, and we fail to put things back where they belong. Every messy room is the direct result of choices we've made. So tidying isn't about scrubbing away dirt. It's about examining your life, one object at a time, and making a whole series of personal decisions. It's a special event, a one-time marathon that, done right, you'll never have to repeat. This is the bedrock of the KonMari Method, built on 6 fundamental rules. Forget everything you think you know about organizing. These rules are your only roadmap. Rule number 1. Commit yourself to tidying up. This isn't some casual weekend project you squeeze in between errands. It's a significant life event. You need to make a conscious, deliberate decision that you're ready to do this thoroughly and completely. Success is 90% mindset. Without genuine commitment, you're doomed to bounce right back to chaos. Rule number 2. Imagine your ideal lifestyle. This is the step most people skip entirely, and it's exactly why they crash and burn. Before you even touch a single object, you need to know your why. What's the end game here? Don't just vaguely think, a clean room. Dig deeper. How do you want to feel in your home? What do you want to do there? Maybe you want to practice yoga in the morning sunlight, curl up with a book and tea in a cozy chair, or host relaxed dinner parties with friends. Cut out magazine pictures, journal about it, or just close your eyes and really visualize it. This vision becomes your North Star, the motivation that carries you through the entire process, because you're not just ditching stuff, you're actively building the life you want. Rule number 3, finish discarding first. This is absolutely non-negotiable. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to organize and store things before they've decided what to keep. Sure, your home might look tidy on the surface, but those closets and drawers are still crammed with stuff you don't need. It's a guaranteed recipe for relapse. You simply cannot know how much storage space you need until you know exactly what you're keeping. So during this phase, don't worry about where things will eventually live. Just focus on one thing, the sorting process. This brings us to the next rule, and perhaps the most revolutionary one. Rule number 4, tidy by category, not by location. How many times have you decided to clean the bedroom, only to find yourself shuffling things into the living room, then moving them back again in an endless loop? It's completely futile. You can't get a true sense of what you actually own, because items from the same category are scattered throughout your entire house. The KonMari Method insists you tackle possessions category by category. For instance, when you tidy clothes, you gather every single piece of clothing you own, from your closet, the laundry room, the coat rack by the door, that mysterious box in the garage, and pile it all in one enormous heap. It's shock therapy. Confronted with this mountain of fabric, you're forced to face the reality of your consumption habits. It's a powerful and absolutely necessary wake-up call. Rule number 5, follow the right order. The sequence of categories isn't random. It's a carefully designed progression to help you develop your sensitivity to joy. You start with the easiest items and gradually move toward the most emotionally challenging. The order is clothes, then books, then papers, then komono miscellaneous items, and finally, sentimental items. Clothes make perfect training wheels. They're personal, sure, but usually not as emotionally loaded as a box of old love letters or childhood photos. You build your decision-making muscles with your shirts and sweaters, so that by the time you reach sentimental items, the final boss of tidying, your intuition is razor-sharp and crystal clear. If you've ever started organizing and gotten completely lost for hours flipping through old photographs, you understand exactly why this rule matters so much. And now we arrive at the heart of the entire philosophy, the engine driving everything. Rule number 6. Ask yourself if it sparks joy. This is your only criterion for deciding what stays. Forget about, will I use this someday? Or this cost me a fortune. Those questions lead you down a rabbit hole of guilt and paralysis. The KonMari Method asks you to connect with your belongings on a deeper, more intuitive level. You pick up each item, hold it firmly in both hands, and ask the question, does this spark joy? What does that actually feel like? Kondo describes it as a little thrill, a feeling of lightness, as if the cells in your body are gently rising. By contrast, an item that doesn't spark joy will feel heavy and dull. Your body already knows the answer. Your job is simply to learn how to listen. But what if you honestly don't know what joy feels like? What if you hold up a t-shirt and just feel nothing? This is surprisingly common. The best way to learn is through comparison. Start by picking your top 3 favorite pieces of clothing, the ones you absolutely love wearing. Hold them. That feeling right there? That's joy. Now you have a benchmark. As you work through your pile, you're not deciding what to discard. You're choosing what to keep. You're curating your life. For everything that doesn't make the cut, you don't just chuck it in a trash bag. You thank it. You acknowledge its service, even if that service was simply teaching you what you don't like. And then you release it with genuine gratitude. This simple gesture transforms a painful chore into a respectful, even healing, ritual. It cultivates appreciation for what you do keep and helps you take better care of those items. Now let's dive into some of the trickier nuances. What about those essential things that don't exactly give you a thrill, like a screwdriver or your thermal underwear? Kondo's advice here is brilliant. First, she challenges you. If it really doesn't spark joy, go ahead and discard it. Often, this challenge makes you realize, wait, no, I actually do need this. But if you still feel nothing, she suggests a powerful mental exercise. Appreciate its function. Think about what that screwdriver actually does for you. Dear old screwdriver, you might say, you're a genius. Thanks to you, I can fix things. You save me time and frustration. What a strong, dependable, cool design. It might feel a bit silly at first, but by actively praising these items for their role in your life, you transform your relationship with them. You begin to see the joy in their utility, and suddenly, they do spark joy. What about those things that spark immense joy but seem to have zero practical use? Think of a gorgeous, elaborate dress you wore once for a special performance but would never wear out in public again. The default thinking says, get rid of it. Kondo's response? Why don't you keep it to wear around the house? One of her clients actually did exactly that. She put on her vivid blue performance dress, added gold earrings and a flower in her hair, and continued tidying completely transformed. Your home should be your personal paradise. If an item brings you joy, you don't have to justify its existence with practicality. Find a way to weave it into your life. Display it, use it, let it make your ordinary days a little more extraordinary. As you work through this process, your home will temporarily become messier. This is completely normal. It's not a rebound. A rebound happens when your home slides back to its cluttered state because you never truly finished the tidying festival, and things don't have designated homes. Temporary chaos during the marathon is just part of the journey. Trust the process. Don't pause. Don't stop. Don't quit. No matter how much stuff you own, the amount is finite. The job will, inevitably, reach its end. Once the great discarding phase is finished, and only then, you can turn your attention to storage. This is where the magic truly settles in. The purpose of storage isn't just hiding things away. It's creating a beautiful, functional home for the items you've chosen to keep. The first principle of storage is to aim for simplicity. You don't need fancy, complicated storage systems. In fact, Kondo encourages you to plan your storage with the goal of eventually getting rid of furniture used primarily for storage. The ideal is to fit everything into your built-in storage, like closets and cupboards. The second principle is storing all items from the same category in one place. No more hunting for batteries in 3 different drawers. And within that space, arrange things so you can see everything at a glance. The enemy of good storage is stacking. When you stack things, the items at the bottom get crushed and forgotten. The solution? Store things vertically. This is most famously applied to clothing. Kondo's folding method is legendary, for good reason. You fold each item into a compact, neat rectangle that can stand on its own. When you open your drawer, you see every single shirt standing upright, like books on a shelf. It's not only incredibly space-efficient, but it's also beautiful. It respects the clothes, prevents wrinkles, and makes choosing what to wear a joyful experience instead of a frantic dig. This vertical principle works for almost everything, from socks to scarves to kitchen utensils. The goal is to pack your drawers like an elegant Japanese bento box. Everything has its own neat compartment, arranged beautifully and ready to be enjoyed. Your drawers should be about 90% full, not stuffed, but full enough that items support each other. An empty, spacious drawer is a vacuum that life and our habits will rush to fill with random clutter. When organizing your closet, hang clothes so they rise to the right. This means hanging heavy, long, dark items on the left, gradually moving toward light, short, bright items on the right. This upward sloping line creates a sense of lightness and energy in your closet. It's a tiny detail, but these details accumulate to create a space that genuinely feels good. Let's walk through the categories. After clothes, you tackle books. Pull them all off the shelves. The most common reason for keeping a book is, "I might read it again someday." Kondo's response is refreshingly blunt. You won't. If a book doesn't spark joy for you right now, it has already served its purpose. Maybe its purpose was to be read, or maybe it was simply teaching you that you're not interested in that subject. Thank it and release it. Keep only the books in your personal Hall of Fame, the ones you love so deeply you can't imagine life without them. Next come papers. The basic rule for papers is even more ruthless. Discard everything. Obviously, not literally everything, but you should approach papers with that mindset. Keep only what falls into 3 categories: currently in use, needed for a limited period, or must be kept indefinitely, like contracts or legal documents. That's it. Credit card statements, once you've checked them, their job is done. Warranties? Keep them all in one clear folder, and you'll naturally weed out expired ones whenever you look for a current one. Appliance manuals? In today's world, they're almost all available online. Let them go. For papers requiring action, like bills to pay or forms to complete, create a single pending box and make a rule to empty it regularly. Then comes the biggest, most daunting category: komono, or miscellaneous items. This is everything from stationery and charging cables to kitchen gadgets, cleaning supplies, and makeup. The key here is breaking it down into smaller subcategories. Don't just tidy the kitchen, tidy cooking utensils, then eating implements, then food storage containers. Gather all the pens you own, all the batteries, all those half-used bottles of lotion, and for each tiny subcategory, apply the same principle. Hold each item and ask if it sparks joy. You'll discover mystery cords for devices you no longer own, promotional pens that barely write, kitchen gadgets you bought on impulse and used exactly once. Thank them and let them go. In the kitchen, the primary goal for storage isn't ease of access, it's ease of cleaning. This is a total game changer. Keeping everything out on the counter might seem efficient, but it creates a greasy, cluttered environment that's a nightmare to wipe down. When you store everything away, from cooking oil to dish soap, your counters stay clear. Wiping them down takes seconds. The joy of a sparkling, clean kitchen far outweighs the tiny effort of opening a cupboard to grab what you need. Finally, you arrive at sentimental items. This is the last category for a very good reason. By now, your joy sensor is finely calibrated. You're ready. This is your chance to put your past in proper order. Pull out the old letters, childhood drawings, mementos from past relationships. The goal isn't erasing your past. It's choosing which parts you want to carry into your future. You might keep just one representative item from a particular memory. For old photos, spread them all out. Keep only the ones that truly capture a happy moment, the ones where you look and feel your best. Discard blurry shots or duplicates. You're curating the story of your life. The photos you choose to keep belong in an album where they can actually be enjoyed, not buried in a dusty box. When you finish this entire process, something magical happens. Your home transforms completely. It's no longer just a place to store your stuff. It becomes your own personal power spot, a sanctuary filled only with things you genuinely love. It's like your own private art museum, where every single object has been hand-selected by you, for you. This is the promise of Spark Joy. It's not about minimalism or deprivation. It's about abundance, an abundance of joy, clarity, and intention. It's about creating a space that supports who you are and who you're becoming. What Marie Kondo has accomplished with Spark Joy is genuinely remarkable. She's taken a mundane, often dreaded chore, tidying, and elevated it into a practice of mindfulness, gratitude, and self-discovery. It's tempting to dismiss this as just another organizing system, but that completely misses the point. The true genius of the KonMari Method isn't the folding technique or the category sequence. It's the radical shift in mindset it demands. For centuries, we've approached tidying from a place of negativity. We fixate on what's wrong, the clutter, the mess, the excess. We ask ourselves, what should I get rid of? This question is rooted in guilt and a sense of lack. It forces us to relive past mistakes, the impulse purchase, the unused gift, the abandoned hobby. It's painful, and that's exactly why we fail so often. Kondo completely flips this on its head. She asks a positive, empowering question instead. What do I want to keep in my life? It's a question about the future, not the past. It's about aspiration, not regret. By asking, does it spark joy? She gives us a simple, intuitive tool to bypass the logical, guilt-ridden part of our brain and tap directly into our feelings. It's practically a form of meditation. With each object, you're forced to be present, check in with yourself, and make a decision based on your own internal compass. Think about the profound skills this practice develops. You're not just learning to fold a shirt, you're learning to trust your intuition. You're sharpening your ability to make decisions quickly and confidently. This skill extends far beyond your closet. When you've made thousands of small decisions about what truly brings you joy, you become much clearer about the big decisions too. What job sparks joy? What relationships spark joy? What kind of life sparks joy? The practice of thanking your items before releasing them is another stroke of genius. It reframes the entire process from wasteful discarding to mindful release. It acknowledges the value an object brought into your life, even if its purpose is now complete. This cultivates a deep sense of gratitude, not just for your possessions, but for your entire life experience. You start seeing everything as part of your journey. So how can you start bringing this philosophy into your own life right now? You don't need to tackle your entire house this weekend. Start small. First, try this simple exercise. Choose one very small category. Not all your clothes, just your socks. Gather every pair of socks you own, pile them up, and go through them one by one. Hold each pair and honestly ask yourself, does this spark joy? Toss the ones with holes, the stretched out ones, the ones that just feel meh. Thank them for their service and let them go. Then fold the keepers and arrange them beautifully in your drawer. Just this small act will give you a real taste of the clarity and satisfaction this method provides. Second, take 5 minutes today to complete rule number 2. Sit quietly and imagine your ideal lifestyle. Don't hold back or censor yourself. If you want a home filled with plants, books, and sunlight streaming through windows, picture it vividly. If you crave a minimalist space that feels calm and serene, see it clearly in your mind's eye. Find a single photograph in a magazine or online that captures that feeling. This vision is your why, what makes the entire process meaningful. Finally, as you move through your day, practice gratitude for your things. When you take off your shoes, thank them for carrying you. When you use your favorite mug, appreciate how it feels in your hands. This small shift in awareness is the true magic of tidying up. It's about recognizing that your possessions aren't just lifeless objects. They're the silent partners supporting your daily life. When you treat them with respect, you're actually treating yourself with respect. That was a summary of Spark Joy by Marie Kondo. We've explored the core principles today, but a summary is like looking at a map of a beautiful country. The map can show you the route, but it can't give you the experience of actually taking the journey. The real transformation happens in those quiet moments of the process itself, when a forgotten piece of clothing triggers a flood of memories, or when letting go of an old book feels like a weight lifting from your shoulders. This summary is a starting point, a way for you to see if this path resonates with you. If any of the ideas we've explored today have struck a chord, I genuinely encourage you to grab a copy of the book. Reading it isn't just about learning a method. It's about beginning a conversation with yourself that can truly change how you live. The link to the book is in the description below. Also, if you found this journey valuable, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. That way, you won't miss our next deep dive into another life-changing book. Let's continue learning and growing together.